Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
How is everybody?
I'm doing well.
Okay, so we may start. Let's start. Gifty, Joe, and Anita.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. Joe, how is it?
Hello.
Just
Sorry.
how is it?
Hello. It's fine. Oh,
Okay.
that's some rain is trying to.
So myself, I was wondering, this Ghana, if it rains, our network starts misbehaving. But let's see what we can do. So we've been looking at the free zones, is that not it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time, where did we get to? I think we cross, or we go to section 7, or the declaration of a free zone.
We finished that. We finished 8. We are on 9.
We finish it. Okay, so 9 is a qualification of a free zone. Or the rights and responsibility of a free zone developer. Okay. Were we marking the free zone questions? Did we mark the free zone questions?
Yes, we've done that. We were able to get 4.
For which were they?
August 2019, question 3.
Okay.
February 2019, question 2.
Okay.
August 2018, question 5.
Okay.
February 2015, question 5.
Okay. All right. Let's keep track of them so that when we get, whilst we are reading, then we'll see whether the answers are coming out from the questions that we have read to guide us in resolving these things. I think when we finish with this one, then the major thing that we have to do is the VAT law, the VAT Act. And it appears to me that it's not only strategic that you will see free zones, because in advanced tax, or even tax administration, there has been some questions on free zones. So if we get time, let's also try and see if we can get those questions marked. Then I believe that we'll be moving forward. So the major thing for us to do will be the VAT law and then the Customs Act. All right, so today let's continue with the reading of the Act 504, Section 9. So, Gifty, you help us do the reading. Section 9. Gifty. Hello. Gifty, are you there?
Okay. Session
Okay.
9.
Okay.
Rights and responsibility of a free zone developer. Subject to the Constitution, a free zone developer may, for the purpose of its activity. A. Acquire land within the area declared in respect of it. Or B. Lease or sublease real property its own as leased or has a right to use, sell or lease, or may sell or rent buildings to free zone company, enterprise.
Okay, so last week we looked at the whole architecture. We said that there's a free zone, an area declared as a free zone. Then we have a developer. Then we have an enterprise. So in this particular instance, we are looking at the role of the developer, and we are saying that he is capable of acquiring land in any area that has been declared. The reason why we subject it to the Constitution is that the last time we mentioned that in accordance with Article 20, the government or the president can declare an area as a public or national interest. And if your land is declared as a national, as an area for national projects, then you have to surrender that land. It doesn't matter whether it's a family land. And if that is declared, what it means is that you have to be paid compensation. And the compensation paid, according to the Constitution, it's any fair amount. If your land has been taken and they don't pay compensation, you have every right to take the matter to court. That is why we have subjected this section 9 to the Constitution. Hope that is clear. Okay, continue for us.
9. A developer is responsible for A. The construction and maintenance of buildings, warehouses, factory shells, and may provide or contract other persons to provide utilities or services such as water, electric power, telecommunications, sewage. B.
Continue. D.
The development of any other infrastructure necessary for the enhancement of the efficient and effective activities of the zone in accordance with the regulations.
Joe, has it started raining at your end?
Yeah.
Your line is breaking small. Gifty, if you are there.
I'm here.
Okay, so maybe take it for us. Continue with the C and lesson.
Okay. The provision of fencing and enclosures to separate the zone from the national customs territory and ensuring security of that zone.
Why is it necessary? Why is the C necessary?
Francis, please come again.
Why is the C necessary?
Because they are kind of separate from the other businesses. They have to be fenced so that they can be easily identified.
Oh, so you think it's just identification? Anita, why do you think he has to fence the whole area? This is a huge land. So Anita, why do you think we have to put in the law that he must fence the area? Oh, Anita. Anita. Juliet.
Hey.
What in your view do you think we must fence the whole area?
Because the place is being declared as a free zone. it needs to be fenced so that that particular territory can be recognized by the law as a free zone.
Oh, you're also talking about recognition. That one they will know. Certainly we will know it, but I'm just looking at what, in your view, what is the rationale for fencing that area? Huge area. The law says that the developer, you must fence it. You see, if you
Francis,
read
what
this,
about,
Mhm.
or should I
Continue, let
come?
me hear.
I
Yeah,
was
continue.
looking at it in the region of 8-2.
Mhm.
Okay, so if they are not allowed to fence it, to make it separate from the other places, others might also come in to build their, let's say, put up some buildings, and it will still come down to identification though. I don't know. Please go ahead.
No, the main purpose is for the customs territory.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the listen. Its main purpose is for the separation of the customs territory. From the beginning, we said that that free zone area, customs do not have power there. Anything that enters there is seen as a foreign country. Anything for tax purposes or for customs purposes, anything that is taxable that enters that territory is seen as in another person's country. So if goods, if they produce goods in that factory, that factory does not pay tax. Anything that happens there, they don't pay tax. Do you understand? Customs cannot go and lay a claim on over there. If you import and you take it to a free zone area, customs cannot charge customs duty on it. So it is a separate customs territory. It is outside the customs territory. But if you don't fence it, how can we ensure that something has entered there and then it remains there? Certainly, we need to protect, we need to enclose that area. So if you go, the security is very tight. If you are taking anything outside the free zone into or outside the yard, it is seen as you are importing. And you know the way the ports are, the security at the ports are. The same way we expect the free zone area declared to have that same security. So you go there are custom officers there, and anything that happens at the port, it happens the same way as the free zone. So the essence is for us to ensure that it is protected from the national customs territory. And then we have to ensure that where taxes are supposed to be paid, then they are paid. In fact, when they produce, they are not supposed to sell it locally. It's only a percentage that they sell locally. Are you getting it? So certainly, under that circumstance, we need to fence it so that the necessary securities that happens at the port also happens over there. Okay, D.
E. The provision and contribution to the cost of facilities for the on-site customs services determined by the Customs, Excise, and Preventive Service.
Yes, so you need to put in place things that the salespeople may use. So if salespeople need a facility, they have to also contribute. You understand? Let's continue.
E. The undertaking of an investment.
But hold on. Before you go on, let's ask Joseph. Joseph, your office at the airport, is that where the production takes place?
No, that's just an office.
So where does the production take place?
No, but you know, Nestle Ghana itself is not a free zones company. It's the Siwa Limited, that's the free zones company. So the production is done by Nestle Ghana. So that one is not a free zones company.
Hold on. The
I don't know
production
whether
is done by Nestle. No, but Siwa is a Siwa. Okay, so which product do you export that qualifies as a free zone?
Basically, it's like service. It's like our services are exported. So, from my understanding, it's like the shared service activities. All those things are exported.
Oh, so you don't even deal in products. It's not the product that are exported. It's not the. I understand it was the needle which is exported. Which one do you repackage
Yes,
and send outside?
Some of the dairy products, the needle are sent to some of the West African countries. And some of the Maggi, all those things also come from. There are those that come in and there are those that go out.
So you do it, you repackage them, and it is sold in the name of the Siwa. Is that not it?
Yes, not Nestle Ghana. So those ones, we have a repackage facility around Spintex that does that repackaging, and we sold
so
under Siwa.
So the repackaging facility, who is it for?
It's for Nestle Siwa. So that one is not Nestle Ghana.
So that is where you do your repackaging and you send. Have you been there before?
Not really.
Hey, you have to go there when the lockdown is over. Please go there. So, in a typical scenario, I am expecting that if that place is for Siwa and Siwa is a free zone enterprise, then that factory or that Spintex Road Repackaging Center should have some security measures put in place to ensure that the product that you produce there, which is mainly which is meant for export, doesn't find itself into the local market. Okay, so the company may be having some facilities there which will serve the purposes for SEPs. So when the goods are ready for export, they escort the product to the borders and ensure that the goods have actually left the country. Then they come back. All these things must be put in place. If you don't do that, they will take advantage of the tax incentives, but they will not sell the goods outside the country. Then the purpose of the free zone is defeated. So all these securities and all those things that we are asking for, that they should be put in place, they are there so that people don't abuse the system and yet still come and take advantage of the tax holidays and all the other things that are there. Okay, give the continuum for us. E. Gifting.
Francis, sorry, I was on mute. The undertaking of an investment or a financial venture to facilitate and promote the development of the zone.
Okay, and then the last one.
F, the submission within the periods directed by the board reports on developments in the relevant zone to the authority.
Good. So you are supposed to undertake things that will also help develop the zone, and there are reports that they submit to the free zones authority. We will come and look at the penalties. There's also a free zones regulations that we are supposed to look at. So after we finish the act, we will look at the regulations and then some of the penalties that are available for companies that do not. You register, but if you don't comply with the law, what are the penalties for us? Let's read the 10 for subcontractors.
Subcontractors by developers. 1. A licensed developer may undertake or subcontract the management, control, and promotion of the free zone development in the declared area. 2. The developer shall apply for a license for a person to whom a subcontract has been given by it under subsection 1.
Okay.
3. The application for a license for a subcontract shall be made to the authority and shall be accompanied with the executed subcontract.
Okay. Of this one, there is clear. They can't do everything. So sometimes they have to subcontract to other people. And so if they are subcontracting, then they also need a license to operate within that area. This tells you that the free zone area that we are talking about is a highly secured environment. Okay. So now that we've seen the free zone board, we've seen the free zone area, we've discussed the free zone developers, we've looked at their responsibilities. Let's look at the free zone enterprise itself. So Siwa may be a free zone enterprise, and all the other companies that operate, TT Brothers, I believe they are also one of them. They may also be a free zone enterprise. All the companies that are located, Blue Skies, it's also a free zone enterprise. So let's look at their qualifications and then the other stuff. So section 11.
Export free zone enterprises. Subject to this act, a person may apply for a license to establish an enterprise in a free zone.
Okay.
12. Qualification of enterprise, subsection 1. A person shall not carry on a trade, business, or industry within a free zone unless it is registered under A. The Companies Act 1963, Act 179, which has been repealed.
So in exams, don't go and write this one. No. Okay, continue.
B. The Incorporated Private Partnership Act 1962, Act 152. Francis, is it still in existence?
Oh yeah, as for partnership act, they are still there.
Okay.
Or you wanted us to amend it?
Because if you've amended the 1963 Companies Act, Partnership Act should be amended.
The partnership is not a big thing. It's not too a big thing. So people, few of them, and mostly the people who engage in these partnerships are these consultants, the auditors and the tax consultants, but you hardly see any serious business which is a partnership. It doesn't mean it is not there. So maybe that is why much attention has not gone into that. But you are right. It's too old. 1962, the way we wrote the act, a lot of things have changed. We should have amended it. Anyway.
Okay. And is the holder of an incorporated license authorizing the carrying on of that trade, business, or industry under this act?
Okay.
2. A company or partnership qualified under subsection 1 and licensed under section 16 is a free zone enterprise.
Why have we taken sole proprietorship from here? Or in all cases, why are we taking sole proprietorship from it? Hello? Anita.
Francis, isn't it for accountability issues?
So sole proprietors are not accountable.
The 12 A and B didn't talk about sole proprietors. Talks about companies and private
Yes,
and
they are all
partnerships.
talking about companies and partnership, but I'm wondering why have we taken companies? It seems that we don't encourage entrepreneurship. Why have we taken them out? So if you are a sole proprietor, you can't really go into the free zone. You know that.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe they are looking at the capital intensive nature of the
Hey,
sector, and they
hey,
are assuming the
Bill
sole
Gates is
proprietor.
more. Bill Gates, man, Bill Gates is more richer than the whole Ghanaian companies combined. Eh? And this guy, Virgin Atlantic, assuming but Dangote wants to come into a free zone, he said, "Me, I don't want to register any company. I want to come." Do you see it?
Yeah.
So maybe question and write. Let's understand the policy rationale. Yes, it's possible that maybe they want to look at the going concern of the entity, but we don't know yet. As it stands now, we don't know. See it, and in some way, anyway. So you, for example, even if you have finished school and you have some nice idea and you think you can do craft and send outside Ghana, you will not be able to do it all. Anyway, let's look at the rights and responsibilities of a free zone enterprise. Section 13.
A free zone enterprise has the right to produce any type of goods and services for export, but shall not produce goods that are environmentally hazardous.
What does that mean?
They
Which
can
products are
produce any
environmentally hazardous?
certain chemicals that would
Yes,
pollute the
because
environment.
exporting those things are very difficult. The last time I was at DHL, and I noticed that they don't even airplanes, they don't normally carry hazardous chemicals. And so if you are carrying them, it goes with some strict compliance. So we are saying that all those environmental hazardous products, you can't go and set up there and say you are producing them. No. So when you're advising your clients who comes to you, they can produce everything. And it is not only goods, though, it's goods and services for exports. And the purpose is for export. Okay. The law was amended some way, somehow, to allow them sell 30% of whatever that they do locally. But initially, it was 100% export. Look at it too.
Subsection 2. A free zone enterprise is free A to store, warehouse, pack, unpack, and repack, divide, subdivide, group, break down, assemble, disassemble, bottle, rebottle, can, recan, decant, alter, sample, display, grade, test, classify, mark, label, relabel, finish, handle, mix, combine, clean, manipulate, restore, join, transform, transit, and transship, transfer, mount, refine, salvage, destroy, demolish, confect, process and manufacture a foreign or domestic raw material, intermediate, semi-finished or finished goods or components for export or re-exports.
This is very important. So if Joe's company is repackaging, you know, they don't do anything, no. They just take the raw thing, and I'm sure they buy from their parent company, Nestle, and then they do repackaging. Can you see repackaging there?
Yeah.
Yes. So you can just do repackaging them for exports, and you are okay. You don't really need to be a manufacturer of it. You can just label, or you can even just buy and divide it. So assuming you have some nice market outside Ghana, Togo, and you notice that there is flour is in high demand, and you think you can export from Ghana, go and buy from the manufacturers, store it, or if you want to divide it, or if you want to break it down, or you want to just label it, or you want to, whichever way you want to do, just do it, and then you export. Voila, you are into free zone business. They don't do anything special. So the repackaging that some companies are doing, they may take the raw powder, maybe Nido, they take the raw powder, repackage it, and then they can sell it in their own name. Okay. Continue. B.
B. To render and sell any type of information processing, computer-aided design, computer-aided printing and publishing, software development, telemarketing, and any other similar and related services.
Good. You can also, it is not only product.
Hey,
You want to go
it's
into
raining at my place too.
really. Me too, it has started here.
Wow. I hope it doesn't affect the network.
It won't.
Okay.
Okay. So C.
C. To render and sell financial, banking, insurance, commercial, advisory, repair and maintenance, professional training, and any other services subject to the relevant laws and regulation.
Good. I'm wondering how they can do repairs and maintenance for export. Can you export repairs and maintenance? How will
Maybe
it be?
maybe they know how.
Okay. Or maybe when they need you, then you take a plane and go and repair and come back. Okay. And then the D says carry out any other activities relevant to its license as may be considered necessary by the board. So they can do anything at all. It is not limited to only goods, but the majority of them, which we know, is the goods that we know, the product, the finished product. What about if there's a change in line of operation? Read the 14 for us.
Change of line of production. A free zone enterprise may change its production lines and processes as often as it considers necessary, subject to the prior approval of the board.
Okay, this one is fine. All right, let's look at the licensing requirements. 15.
15. Application for licenses to develop or operate an enterprise.
Okay.
Subsection 1. An application for a license to develop, manage, or establish an enterprise in a free zone, A, shall be in writing. B, shall be submitted to the Secretariat of the Authority. C, shall specify the zone to be developed or managed, or both or the trade, business or industry for which the license is required. And D, shall be accompanied with the information required by the board.
Good. So if you want to either develop or you want to operate in a free zone, put in your application in writing and then you submit. So can we now describe, if I come to you fresh If I come to you fresh as a company and I want to start free zones, or no, if I or even I just consult you, will you be able to tell me the processes? What is the
Yeah.
first requirement?
You should put your application in writing.
No, you need first of all to register a company or a partnership. I believe that is the first requirement. Is that not it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then if you want to develop, then you put in an application. I'm sharing my notes, my board. Can you see it?
Yes.
So if you're a new company, you have to complete the free zone application form. You attach your certificate of incorporation, certificate to commence business. Now, under the new act, we just have certificates of incorporation. You know, we don't have certificates to commence business anymore. I hope you know that.
Yes, but they are still issuing it.
Yeah, because this thing is a legal matter. Some people are saying that within 2 years, the Registrar General's Department is supposed to be put in place, and they are supposed to, change certain things. So maybe we are still going. If they were even issuing the certificate under Act 179 until somebody drew their attention. So I'm sure now they will put 992 on it. So you submit your company's regulation. This time it's no more regulation. How do you call it? The constitution.
Constitution. Yeah.
The company's constitution. If you don't have one, then you adopt the one in the Companies Act. Okay. Then you submit your visibility plan or your business plan. You need the environmental impact assessment. Then evidence of transfer of funds. Okay. Evidence to export your services. How are you going to export your services? Evidence of lease or rental of the property or factory. And in addition, for existing companies, assuming, and you don't need to be a new company. You can be an existing company, but you want to now operate under the free zone. So if you're an existing company, you send your audited account, your Senate clearance, your tax clearance, okay, then you attach it to this one. So that is what they were talking about. Any other information required by the board. Please, are you okay with this one?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to where were you reading?
15.
Okay. 15. Continue with the 15.
15 subsection 2. The board shall respond to an application within 28 working days from the date of the receipt of the application.
Okay. So at least within a month, we should be able to respond to you. 28 days will respond. 16.
16. Grant of license to developers and enterprises. Subsection 1. The board may grant a license authorizing A, the development or management or both of a free zone, or B, the carrying on of a trade, business, or industry within the free zone.
Good. So they will give you a license so that they will tell you whether you're a developer or you are into the enterprise. You are permitted to go and carry on your business within the area. 2.
2. A license shall not be granted for the carrying on of A, the business of banking, unless the applicant is also registered and licensed under the Banking Act 2004 Act 673.
So which act are you going to quote now?
930.
930. Good. Some of you are now.
930.
The next one, the B. Let this lady answer. Gifty answer.
Who?
B.
I
B.
don't even know. The business, the business of insurance, unless the applicant is registered under the Insurance Act 1989, it's still the same. Oh.
No.
They've changed
Hey,
it. They are not working on changing it.
Gifty. I sure it's 1989.
Yeah, so
Hey,
I have
Gifty.
to go and read my notes.
No. No, guys. This one there, she needs to be massacred. Joe, she's writing the insurance course. Oh. Gifty. No, Gifty, wait there, I won't forgive you.
But I put those books that I love. I'm not going to read it.
Huh?
I'm not going to revise
2006 Insurance Act, Act 724. 2006. And in fact, we're even thinking of bringing a new one.
Yes, that I know.
You know that one?
Yeah, I know they are working on amending certain sections or even repealing the whole thing.
Yes. We're going to repeal the whole thing, but at least the 2006 one, I expected you to know. Because how can we use the 1989 Insurance Act? Okay. We'll forgive you small. Next time, I won't forgive you. Okay. So you notice that there are some, in fact, even in Ghana, apart from the fact that you need to register your company, when you register and you want to go into banking, you need to go to the Bank of Ghana to go and obtain a banking license. So you cannot come and operate in the free zones if you don't come with those two documents. But I have not seen a bank which is a free zone bank. Have you seen one before? I doubt, but it's possible. It's possible that we can have one. And I've not seen an insurance company in Ghana which only insures foreign. No, I doubt whether there exists one, but we can have one. Okay. All right, 17.
Conditions of license. The board may attach to a license the conditions that it considers appropriate concerning employment skills, development, impact on the environment, creation of job opportunities, and the degree of export orientation.
So the license mostly come with some conditions which we expect you. We want to see how much jobs you are going to create and all those stuff. Okay. Then if you are going to bring only foreigners, then clearly your projects will not come and help the developmental agenda of Ghana. So that may not be good in the eye of the board to grant you the license. No, we don't want you to just come and take advantage of the tax incentives and go. Okay. Let's look at revocation. 18.
Subsection 1. The board may revoke a license where it is satisfied that there has been a breach of a condition attached to the license. Subsection 2. The board may, on the request of the licensee, vary any of the conditions attached to the license.
Okay.
Subsection 3. Before revoking a license, the board shall give not less than 14 working days notice of its intentions to the licensee and shall consider the representations made to it by the licensee.
Representation means that we want to give you a fair hearing. So clearly, what we'll be considering is if there is a revocation, what are the tax implications? Under the Income Tax Act, what happens? The Revenue Administration Act. What comes to mind? Hello? In the determination of the primary tax liability. Who can link it?
they'll have the preemptive assessment. Oh,
Correct. There will be preemptive assessment because all the conditions that existed where they were having those free things can now arise. What it means is that the company is no more under a tax holiday. All right. Register.
19. Register. Subsection 1. The board shall establish and maintain a register of licenses granted under section 16.
Okay. So this one, I don't know how many companies have registered, and I'm not sure it's. We may see it under the free zones annual report. It's possible we will see it there, but I'm not sure they will publish it. But assuming that they were publishing the last report that you could see on the free zone website was as far as 2014, and that one, if you download it, it doesn't even come. Like, would have seen the number of companies that are registered in the free zone. But at least we know Cargill and all those companies are there. And you know, it's been over 20 years when we set up the free zones. So maybe we even need to do an assessment. Or don't you think so? We need an assessment of the free zone, as an assessment, and this one someone can take it as a project, an impact assessment or economic impact assessment of the free zone enterprise since 1995, the good, the bad. So who will do it for us? When we put, look, we can do this thing, we can do a project and put it in place and we'll get money. Or what do you think?
Yes.
We put it together, we send it to IMF. We say IMF, Ghana has put in place since 1995 the free zone law, and these are the incentives. We want to, after 22 years, 95 to 2020, how many years? Is it 22 years?
25
years. Wow. So we want to see what have we benefited and how much have we lost in terms of tax incentives that we have given away. Then we do a report. So please, who put the project, who put the proposal? If they give us like $1 million, we will share the money and then do the work. Or
Francis, you are now going to suggest the proposal to IMF before you do the work, or after you've done the work and submitted it?
No, but we are going to put a proposal together. We'll put the whole concept of this free zone. We want to measure the impact assessment. So first we'll go to a free zone authority. We'll ask them whether there's any report there. What have we gained and what have we lost? Then we'll do our own independent checks. Then we'll put the funding requirement. IMF, that's what they do. If you put your proposal together, it's a project. It's a research project. Then you put it together, then they will fund you. They can give you like $1 million. And that $1 million can pay you till if I know your salary, I can divide it by that amount and see. You will notice that you won't go to work again. Anyway. So that is the register. Let's go to the transfer of license.
Transfer of license. Okay. No license. Francis.
Are you reading from my own?
I'm reading from yours now. I've just gone off. Okay. So no licensee shall transfer a license issued in respect of it to any other person without the prior approval of the board.
What are they trying to say? And under what circumstances can it happen? Is it possible it will happen? And what will be the tax implication?
I know that from the subcontract from the developers, even for the subcontractor, they're supposed to um, obtain license from them from the board. So the same applies to enterprises too.
But you know that if I start a business and I don't want it again, I can transfer the business to, I can sell my business.
Yes.
If I sell to a new person, the law says that the new person will just continue with their unexpired period of the tax holiday. Is that not it?
Yes.
So they are looking at a situation where you started a business, assuming Blue Sky started a business, then Blue Sky said they want to sell the business to another person. They can sell it, all right. But the question is, you need the approval of the board before you can transfer that license to the person. Is that okay?
Yes.
Now we are going to the main strategic tax planning part 5, import and export and the tax implications. So please note section 22 very well. Okay. And then section 28. These are the hot spots for exams. Now that we have a complete picture of the whole free zones, the hot spots are what we are going to look at, the import and export. So read 21 for us.
Non-application of import laws to free zones. Except in so far as the laws are made applicable by the regulations. The laws in force relating to the importation and exportation of goods and services, other than consumer goods for commercial purposes, shall not apply to A, the bringing of goods directly from a country outside the Republic into a free zone.
Let's try to understand that portion. You know there are laws that relate to import and export.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if we take importation, if you are bringing a car into Ghana, you pay duties. And even for services, you still find taxes on them. But we are saying that because the export zone or the free zone is outside the territory, the customs territory of Ghana, all laws relating to importation and exportation will not apply unless the items are consumer goods. But where you are coming to use them for the purpose of the free zone enterprise, then there are no taxes, there are no duties, there are no anything that applies will not affect it. So instead of you going through customs clearance and all those things, there will not be declaration and all those things. It won't apply here. Please, do you understand it?
Yeah.
So if you are bringing it outside Ghana into the free zone, it doesn't apply.
So Francis, is the main purpose for the fencing, right?
Exactly. So you need to protect anything that enters into the free zone. If it enters there, you need to guard it. You don't guide it for any, you allow it to sneak into the local market. That means that you have breached. You are dealing with uncustoms goods that are supposed to attract taxes, but you did not pay. Okay. Let's continue.
B. The dispatch of goods for exports out of a free zone to a country outside the republic.
Okay, if you are exporting to you don't go through the export documentation and processes. If under normal circumstances, if you are exporting, you need to go and do your export declaration. You send it through the customs. Customs will validate everything. But we are saying that anything that is happening within the free zones, that is why we say it is outside customs territory. Unless those regulations that are made or put in place to ensure that there are no abuses. Okay, let's look at 22. 22 is very important. It's one of the tax incentives.
22. Exemption from taxes of imports into free zone area. Subject to Article 174 of the Constitution, the import of a free zone developer, subcontractor, or enterprise into a free zone or single factory zone are exempt from direct and indirect taxes and duties.
Direct tax and indirect taxes. Let's analyze it carefully. So because it is outside the territories of Ghana, anytime you are supplying, then they are important, isn't it? And let's say MTN is supplying telecommunication service to them, I will see it as an export. So what it means is that every direct and indirect taxes are exempt on those items. So I'm not supposed to charge VAT. I'm not supposed to, a whole lot of them. You get it? Please, is that clear?
Francis.
Yeah. Joe, are you there?
It is.
Yeah, I'm back. I went off.
So we are discussing the tax incentives for the free zones. And we are saying that if you import anything into a free zone, it is tax exempt. Please, let's note section 22 very well, because they will ask you in the strategic tax paper. Okay. 23.
23. Sales in national customs territory. One minute, okay. Then section 1. The minister may, by legislative instrument, authorize the sales of up to 30% of the annual production of goods and services of a free zone and single factory zone enterprise to the national customs territory.
Good. So they are permitted to sell up to 30% of the annual annual production into the local market. Their purpose is to export, but because they cannot export all the 100%, Blue Sky is permitted to sell 30% of his produce into local markets for us to eat. I hope that is clear.
Yes.
Subsection 2.
Sales of goods from free zone enterprises or single factory zones to the national customs territory shall be considered as imports and are subject to the rules and regulations relating to imports into the national customs territory.
So if those who go and buy from Blue Skies and they come and sell it. They are importing it. They have to send declarations. They have to go through the clearing processes and pay the duties on them. 2 years, isn't it? Some way. But anytime you are buying from a free zone company, then be sure that you pay duties and all those things. Because someone who is also importing from another country is also paying taxes. And that's the essence of we saying that the free zone is outside Ghana's territory. So if you are if a free zone company is importing into a free zone area, it has not entered Ghana yet. So Ghana cannot collect taxes on them. In the same way, when we are also importing from, or if we are also buying from a free zone company, we must also go through the customs processes because that company is not situated in Ghana, technically. So we are now importing. Okay, 3.
Damaged or rejected goods or samples may be sold by the free zones and single factory zones to the National Customs Territory, and the goods shall be considered as part of the 30% of annual production of the free zones and single factory zones authorized to be sold to the National Customs Territory and are subject to the applicable duties and taxes.
Good. So imagine you have not fenced the area. If you have not fenced the area with tight security, what it means is that people can just go there and bring the goods out. Then this is just the same as somebody importing something from China and coming through the ports, and he will not pay the taxes, and then he will take the goods out. So we need to put in place, the developer is responsible to ensure that he fences and protects the free zone area, tight security. Okay.
4. An instrument issued under subsection 1 shall provide penalties for contravention of an authority provided in it.
If you default, trouble for you. Is that okay? Okay. Continue.
24. Sales from National Customs Territory to free zones. Subsection 1. Sales of goods and services by a domestic enterprise from the National Customs Territory to enterprises in the free zones and single factory zone shall be considered as exports.
Does it make sense? So if I'm selling
yes, it does.
If I'm selling to Siwa, Joe, if I'm selling to your Siwa, it is an export.
Okay.
All right. Continue.
2. A domestic enterprise is eligible to benefit from the prevailing export incentive available to a national exporter and shall not require an export license for the sale of goods and services to enterprises in the free zone or single factory zone.
So if I am exporting, so if the telecom services that we provide for the free zone enterprises, we don't charge them VAT, because if I'm charging VAT, if I'm exporting, I don't charge VAT. In fact, they themselves will even bring a form and will come and consider the various forms that are used under the regulations. We have a number of forms that they use. I'm sharing my screen. Are you seeing it? Hello? Joe, can you see it?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So if they want to import, they sent an import declaration form to the Ghana Free Zone Board through the TradeNet system. Now they say Unipass, isn't it? Is it Unipass or which one? Which one is not working? We are coming to do it too. So you have to start
Unipass is
reading around it.
not working. Unipass is not working. So GCNet has taken over.
Oh, they've taken again.
Yeah, Abi, after the lockdown, Unipass started, but they couldn't clear. The feed forwarders couldn't clear in the system, so they had to let
Well, why
GCNet
do we
come
worry
on.
ourselves in this country like this?
Asafumafo is there.
Senior Minister.
Charlie, that's why some people don't pay tax. So sometimes even frustrating studying taxation. Because like by now we should be getting more consultancy jobs for people, but people really do not like to pay tax. I mean, anybody who hears about taxation, so it's only the few big firms, or unless they are in trouble, unless the company is seriously in trouble before they will look for. Anyway, so they send the import declaration, then they print a copy of the approval form with the exemption number for their system. Then they attach the bill of lading or airway bill or whichever. Then you attach a cover letter. Then present the form and all supporting documents to the Ghana Free Zone Secretariat. Then they will endorse it. So that you use it for your customs purposes. So when the thing gets to customs, when the car gets to the port and customs sees this one, they notice that, oh, this one, it is not for us. It is going to another free zone and enclave. So they will not bother asking for taxes. Please, do you understand it? Gifty, are you okay with this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. This one, if you don't know, you won't know. Okay. Now we are saying that they are not supposed to pay taxes when they buy from the local market. So if you want to waive the VAT and Hill and Get Fund on local purchases, you buy the Form 9. And the Form 9 is $100. So you fill the Form 9, you present it to the Ghana Free Zone Secretariat with a pro forma invoice from the person. So assuming you are buying telecommunication service, you present it, MTN will give you a pro forma invoice, then you send it to the Free Zone Secretariat. Then the Free Zone will attach a zero rating letter. They'll write a letter and tell you that this person is entitled to be zero rated. And then if this goods, customs will inspect the goods before they are released into the free zone. So customs mostly have an office in the free zone area. So when the goods are coming, they will inspect it. And this is how the Form 9 looks like. You get it?
Yeah.
So Form 9 will tell you Form 9, Ghana Free Zone. Then you have the serial number. Request for removal of goods to free zone. And this Form 9 can cover up to goods up to $50,000. Okay. We are also saying that they sell into the domestic market. Is that not it? The 30%. Yes. That one you purchase from 9A. Fill it. Attach the invoice of goods to be sold into the domestic market in US dollar. Present it to the secretariat. They will endorse it. Then the goods will now have to go to the custom officer to inspect. Because when you are bringing it into the local market, we are importing. So it has to be taxed. So they'll calculate customs duties and everything on it. So before they release the goods, you should have paid the taxes And this is how the Form 9 looks like. Juliet, are you there or you are sleeping? Anita, how many of us have bought this Form 9 before? Joe, you should have bought some before, isn't it? Joseph.
Yeah, I see the financial accounting people. The financial accounting people. They
And
buy
you
it.
see them buying.
Like I always see them because I used to sit near them. You hear them saying it from 9, from 9, from 9.
But you yourself, you've not bought one before. You've not filled one before. Eh?
Nah.
This one is a tax matter, so you have to ensure that check and see they have filled it properly, and then you tell them the implications of all this. And these are all in the law. Now, if they want to, assuming they want to also, so there's Form 9A and Form 9B. The B is used for utilities. Okay. It also goes through the same thing. And over here you have and anytime they do it, they buy it. I always have problem with them because sometimes they cancel them out. Okay, and the form is not supposed to be alterated. You don't need to be canceling. And so when they make a mistake, they don't want to return it because $100 form is quite expensive. I don't know why. The last time I was asking one of the free zone guys, how can this one form be sold for $100? That's expensive. And now we are assuming as if we are.
What they should be doing is that they should allow the people to download the form. Then at the point at which you are coming to present the form, you pay the $100.
Hey Joe, Ghana. Joe.
Yes, because now.
Joe, people will do their own stamp it, sign it. I mean, when they bring it to me, I'm not going to call free zones and ask them, Master, is this form authentic? And again, the form is a security featured it has a security feature with serial numbers.
Yeah.
So Joe, I think what you are saying is true. We could find a way out, but in our system, can you trust people to do the right thing? That's the point.
There's no system where you trust people to do the right thing. No, you just have to have safeguards. You just have to find a way to prevent people from doing the wrong thing. Even at the Vatican, people steal.
Which one?
At the Vatican.
Anyway, we can try it, but the whole thing is that when the person is coming to buy, he attaches this form. So when I see this form, I see it as authentic. Then I completely waive off the VAT and all those things. So the question is, if somebody is in some corner doing something and a free zone enterprise is going to buy, you want them to download the forms. I'm looking at how it will be. Anyway, well.
So Francis, do they purchase such forms each, like the Form 9A and Form B for each how they call it?
Yes, anytime you are going to do the transaction, you have to go and buy one.
So if you are going, supposing they are coming to you and then they are going to Ghana Water too, they will have to buy one for you, one for Ghana Water.
Yes.
Wow. Then it's quite expensive.
It is. So you buy the form, for example, if you are buying utilities from 9B, you fill it, you indicate the meter number and the payment point. Then the free zone will forward the application to the GRA to exempt the amount. from the payment of the levies. But then if it normally it's for 1 calendar year for free zones. You said this form is used to exempt taxes on electricity and covers electricity for a calendar year. But for my own India, anytime they are coming, they bring one, the form 9A. You need to know the names of the forms, so. And then exemptions from vehicles. If they are importing vehicles, you purchase the form 9D. So the form is filled. You indicate the vehicle and the chassis number. You present it to the Free Zone Secretariat for endorsement. Then you send it back to the customs point of entry. So if it is Togo, Aflao border, you send it to Aflao. If it is the Tema port, you indicate that the car is coming from the Tema port. Then at that point, they will exempt the taxes. Then the form 9E is for services, and it's also for VAT. But one thing that I want you to notice is that communication service tax is not featured here. Are you listening?
Is it because of something?
There's a problem with the communication service tax.
Okay.
No, there's a problem with the act, and we have to fix it. We really have to fix it. The communication service tax doesn't distinguish between export and local. So some of us have picked it up, and so when I even started talking to you, some ideas have started flowing through my mind. How I'm going to write to the ministry. We have to threaten that we are reporting them to the International Telecommunications Regulations Authority. Ghana is charging taxes on local and foreign calls. It's a serious breach of a treaty. See, so I have to find a way. If I get 2 or 3 companies to help me, we'll put it together. Then we'll write to them, we'll report them to the ITU. That Ghana has breached.
Esla will come for you.
Anyway, so this is for services. So you fill it, you indicate the services you want, you attach a pro forma invoice, submit it to the secretariat. Okay. And then you can use it to cover up to $50,000. If the value of the service is more than $50,000, you have to buy a new one. Please, do you get it?
Yeah.
And then they use the form 9F for also transactions between free zone enterprises. So this one is from one enterprise to the other. What will be the tax implication? Because it appears it is an export, but also an import at the same time. So pages from 9F, fill it, indicate the description of the goods, present it to the secretariat. The secretariat will endorse it, and they will assign it to the custom officer. And then they ensure that the goods are escorted to the other free zone. This form does not have a limit. They don't have a limit on it. All right, so these are the forms that we use for the various tax incentives if you really want to enjoy them. Okay, so they exist, but you need to follow some procedure. These are contained in the free zone regulations. Any question? Anita, ask a question. Leonard, ask a question. Hey, Julia has gone off. Leonard, Anita and Leonard, question.
No question yet.
Hey, Leo, I sure you notice all the forms I showed.
Yes.
Okay. Anita. Anita. Okay, so Gifty, continue. Where were we? Hello, Gifty.
Yeah.
So we were on sales
I don't have a question.
in national. You don't have a question,
Hello.
but you are there. You are there, isn't it?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Anita, we can hear you. All right, Gifty, continue.
Okay. 24 subsection 3. An enterprise.
Yeah, continue.
An enterprise in a free zone or single factory zone may purchase goods and services sold by a domestic enterprise with local currency obtained through conversion of foreign currency through a bank or a licensed foreign exchange bureau.
Okay. All right. 25.
Francis, I have a question. Which currency do they report their
Mostly in dollars. In dollars.
Okay, so if they are saying that, so supposing they sold 30% of their annual production to the local markets, they are saying they can purchase it in local currency. Are they going to have local currency and foreign currency accounts? Or they'll convert
Yes,
all back into foreign currency?
Yes, if they are in Ghana, they will have both dollar and they have in fact they have multiple currency accounts. Some banks, some of the companies have multiple currency accounts. So that one there's not a big problem. They may have euro, dollar, just for the actual transactions.
Okay. 25. Entry into free zone by officers. 1. Subsection 1. An authorized officer of any of the revenue services, a member of the police service, or an officer authorized by the minister may, in the discharge of their official duties, at any time enter and inspect a free zone, buildings, aircraft, ships, boats, or vehicle in the free zone.
Okay.
Subsection 2. An officer exercising the power of entry or inspection shall on request produce the authorization of that officer.
Okay.
Subsection 3. A person who prevents or obstructs an entry authorized by subsection 1 or attempts to do so commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding 1,000 United States dollars or its equivalent in cedis, or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or to both the fine and the imprisonment.
Please, in reading your penalties and all those things, I hope you understand when we see summary conviction. Hello, do you understand it?
Yes. Oh.
What does that mean? Summary. Anita, what do you understand by summary conviction? Leo, any idea?
I think like the process, you don't go to the normal process.
Come again.
Like agenda and those things, you will not go through that.
Not necessarily. You know, anything that deals with conviction is a crime.
Yeah.
Okay, so in criminal matters, there are two modes of trial. They have to try you, trying to see whether you are guilty or not. There's a trial, there is a summary trial, and then there is also trial on indictment. Indictment. Okay, so like Dr. Oponi of COCOBOD, he's going through trial on indictment.
Okay.
Okay, there's murder. You go through trial on indictment. So summary trial is tried by a single judge. The matter is heard by a single judge. A trial on indictment, there's a jury, ordinary laymen who determine the guilt of the person. So when we say summary trial, we are not calling for a jury or people, a panel of ordinary people to come and determine whether you are guilty or not guilty. Summary trial is only by a judge, a single judge, who go through the normal processes. In fact, there can be adjournments, several adjournments. Okay, so adjournment number 1, adjournment number 2, plenty of them, but it is only a judge, a single judge. So there's a defense counsel or a defense lawyer trying to defend and say that you are not guilty. And then there is also the prosecution lawyer, who is also mostly the attorney general, because the attorney general is the prosecutor of all crimes. So if you are guilty, then we convict you on summary conviction. We convict you to prison or to a fine. So let's know the two processes. Summary trial, a single judge. It is only in a treasonable offense. You remember treason, the doctors who are on treason trial, and that one we need 3 justices of the High Court to sit. So you present evidence. The prosecution will present his evidence. The prosecutor will present his evidence. The defense lawyer will also present his evidence. Are you guilty? I'm not guilty. Back and forth. Then the judge will now weigh the 2 evidences that are produced before him. Then he will say that based on evidence A, B, C, D, I think you are guilty, or I'm of the opinion that you are guilty, and therefore I'm convicting you to imprisonment for not more than 6. The law here is saying that the person should not be in prison for not more than 6 months. So the maximum prison term that judge has at his disposal is 6 months. So he can choose any time between day 1 or 1 day up to 6 months. He cannot go below 1 day. And the choice he will decide, because the law says or, so he can decide to slap only the fine and then leave the prison term, or he can even do the prison term and leave the fine, or he can combine both. So he can give you not exceeding 1,000, means that he can say, okay, 100 cedis, sorry, $100, and you go to prison 1 day and then $100, or I'm slapping a fine of $1,000 and you are for 6 months. So those are, you see these terms, especially when you are reading the section 71 going of the Revenue Administration, Tax Administration. You are going to see them a lot over there. All right.
Thank you.
26.
Responsibilities of customs, excise, and preventive service. The customs, subsection 1, the customs, excise, and preventive service is responsible for the control of zero-rated goods. A, within a free zone. B, in transit between 2 free zones. And C, in transit between a free zone and a point of entry into or exit out of the Republic.
So at every point in time, we are going to have custom officers around. So when the goods are entering, if I am selling to a customs territory from the local market, it is an export, so it is a zero-rated supply. But the custom officer must check and ensure that he has checked all those things. And if there is a sale between one free zone to another free zone, the custom officer must also check. And if the goods are also supposed to leave the country, he must also check. So they have a responsibility. That's why the developer is expected to put in facilities that will support the custom officers.
if you remember when we're reading the developer, the responsibility of the developer. Okay, 2.
2. The minister, after consultation with the minister responsible for customs and excise and commissions of customs, excise and preventive service, may by legislative instruments make regulation A. Adopting or modifying for the purposes of this act any of the regulations relating to customs operations.
Who is the minister responsible for customs and all those things?
Finance Minister.
Good. He's the finance minister. Okay, B.
B. Governing the movement of persons, vehicles, or goods into and out of a free zone, from and out to other parts of the customs territory.
Okay.
C. Covering the keeping, storage, and handling of goods in free zones. D. Covering the keeping and preserving of accounts and records in a specified form in respect of goods in free zones.
Okay.
And E. Relating to the provision of security by bond or otherwise on goods in transit between free zones and points of entry and exit from and to other countries.
Okay. Oh, this is clear. 27.
Missing dutiable goods. Dutiable goods. Where goods
Dutable goods.
is what?
Dutable.
Dutiable goods. Okay. Where goods stored in a free zone are found to be missing without an acceptable explanation, the commissioner may request the licensee to pay the duty on the goods as the rate in force at that time, in addition to the penalty which may be imposed by the commissioner.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What is the general assumption here? If the goods are missing,
Francis.
Sorry, your line is
for
going.
local consumption.
So if the goods are missing, the obvious reason is that it has been smuggled into the local market. And you know that when goods are coming to the local market, we pay taxes on it. Is that not it?
Yes.
All right. Now let's look at the tax incentives. Do you want to ask a question? Okay, so we need to let's read 28. Tax incentives.
Tax concessions, subsection 1. Subject to Article 174 of the Constitution, free zone developers and enterprises granted licenses under this act are exempted from the payment of income tax on profit for the first 10 years from the date of commencement of operations.
This one goes with which parts of the sales schedule? Hello?
Which part of the sales schedule?
Yes. Which paragraph of the sales schedule?
It's under the free zones place.
Yes, but which part? You remember we just mentioned it in the sales schedule, and we said we are going to do free zones very well.
Yes.
Yes. So where did we mention this free zone? Paragraph 9 of the sales schedule, is that not?
8 or
No, 9. So read paragraph 9 of the sales schedule, let's see.
Okay.
It says what?
1 minute. Paragraph 9. Subsection 1. A free zone developer or an enterprise granted a license under the Free Zones Act 1995, Act 504, is exempt from the payment of income tax on profits for the first 10 years.
Okay,
Subsection
so
2.
it's the same thing here. Mhm.
Yes. The period specified in subparagraph 1 commences from the date of commencement of operation. Same thing.
Okay. So come to the subsection 2 under 28 and let's see.
The income tax rate after 10 years shall not exceed a maximum of 8% of the profits.
Okay. Now, what is the income tax rate in the 896? Come to the first header and let's look at the tax rate for a free zone enterprise.
That's subparagraph 4.
Yes, it says what?
The chargeable income of a free zone enterprise after the concessionary period from the export of goods and services outside of the National Customs Territory for a year of assessment is taxed at the rate of 15%.
So why is this one saying 8%? Come again. Hello, Gifty.
Francis, I didn't say
Hello.
anything. No, I'm just looking at both of them.
So go and check whether 28 subsection 2 has been amended, because one cannot read 8 here and then the other cannot read 15 here.
Yeah.
In the first place, they are all exempted for the first 10 years. We agree. And even in the first 10 years, what is the tax rate?
1%.
1%. After the 10 years, the Free Zones Act is saying 8%. The income tax law is saying
15%.
15.
Yes.
So which one should we take? Read the 3. Subsection 3.
28 subsection 3. A shareholder is exempted from the payment of withholding taxes on dividends arising out of free zone investments.
Wow. It's nice, isn't it?
Yes.
So we'll end here. Let's go back to the questions that we read. We'll come and continue next week when we are reading to finish the from 29. Right now we are left with some few of them. 29 to, I think, the other one, they may not be tax incentives. The major one is what I think with the tax incentives what we have looked at. So let's go back to the questions that you read. Which years did you read? Which years did we do? We noted some years down, some years, how do you call it?
Past questions. Yeah.
Yes, we noted some years past questions. So let's see if we can answer some of them, or yet still, after reading these plenty things, we have still not covered them. So take was it August 2019?
Yeah, question 3.
Question 3. Read it for us and let's see.
The free zone concept in Ghana offers free zone
Hey,
developers.
Sorry, you said which year?
August 2019, question 3.
Okay, please, do you all have it? Joe?
Yes,
some people are not there, so okay.
Yes.
So August 2019, question 3. Let's read it and see.
The free zone concept in Ghana offers free zone developers and enterprises numerous tax incentives. As a renowned tax consultant, you have been approached by a Norwegian investor to offer advice on the conditions an investor must satisfy in order to take advantage of these tax incentives. Required: Advise the investor on I, the conditions for registration of a free zone entity. And II, 5 tax incentives available to investors who establish free zone entities. Total 20 marks.
You can do this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
What
Easy.
are the conditions for registration? I'm trying to look for where.
Registration requirements.
Okay.
But I think this question, you need to finish reading 28, 29, because he talks about tax incentives and he didn't finish it. So you read 29, 30, then I think 31. Okay. Because 29 talks about investors. 30 talks about investment guarantees and transfer of profits. And then guarantee. So apart from the fact that you mentioned the tax incentives, you also have to go to the other. But pretty, you could have answered this one, at least having read the law. Anita, Alai.
Yeah, it can be answered.
Good. I like that. It can be answered. Gipsy, what is the next question?
February 2019, question 2.
It says what?
February 2019, question 2. There I go. Just 1 minute. Okay, question 2. Okay. The Chief Executive Officer of Sucriace, a salt processing company based in Egypt, is exploring the possibility of establishing a company in Ghana to produce salt for export to other African countries. Initial feasibility studies carried out by a financial consultant indicated that establishing the processing plant in Ada would be ideal. The CEO has also been informed that Ghana has tax incentives for investors who seek to establish businesses which produce items for exports. Required. Advise the investor on 5 tax incentives available to persons who establish businesses which produce items for export.
Which year is that?
February 2019.
Question. Sorry, question 1?
Question 2.
Okay. You could have answered this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, boss.
You could have answered it, isn't it?
God willing.
Okay.
But hello,
All right.
boss.
Yeah.
There's some of your questions do not have solutions.
Hello, Joe.
Yeah, I said some of your questions do not have solutions. Is there no
Oh,
way
really?
you can? Yeah,
Okay,
February.
don't worry. We have to. We will solve them together. Which of them?
Oh, ciao.
Don't worry, we'll solve them. Or you can even solve them so that we'll discuss it.
Huh?
Oh, Joe, after going through this text by text reading, what again? You are now a competent tax consultant. You and Alina, there's no difference. Oh.
Alina, PhD in tax.
It doesn't matter. You see, it's only in Ghana that education is hard though. If you go outside then, I tell you, I did some LLM in, that is Master of Law in Taxation in UK, University of London. I was shocked when they came and said that my paper was, throughout the whole world, my paper was the best answered paper. I didn't write anything too. It's only Ghana that will make things change. So forget about PhD. Kai, you, if you like, right, go and do one. You'll be a emeritus professor. Okay. Okay, Anita. Yeah, Gifty. The last question.
Francis, 2 more to go. We have February 28th, question 5.
More. Okay, just read it and let's see. Read it and let's see.
Okay. February 28th. Question 5.
February what?
Sorry, August 2018.
Okay.
Question 5. The CEO of Dana, a meat processing company based in the United Arab Emirates, is exploring the possibility of expanding the operations of the company to Ghana. The CEO intends to establish a cattle farm and an ultra-modern meat processing which would process the meat for export to the Middle East. His initial inquiries reveal that Ghana has tax incentives for investors who seek to establish businesses which produce items for exports. Required: A, as the preferred tax advisor, provide an opinion on the income tax consequences of establishing a cattle farm, indicating whether the location of the farm impacts on the tax incentives available to an investor. 3 marks.
This is also
D. B, based on your knowledge of the Free Zone Act 1995, Act 504, state and discuss 5 tax incentives which the investor can obtain if he registers the meat processing factory as a free zone enterprise.
Yes. So no customs duties, tax for the first 10 years, no. After the first 10 years, 15%. Shareholders don't pay tax on their dividends. They transfer profits outside. You have, but please remember the section, so because if you study the marking scheme, the examiner wants you to remember, at least make a reference to the marking schemes, the sections, please. Okay. So please solve that question. Solve that question, and then I think so. We'll come back next week to read the 29. We'll finish reading it. Get to the, then we know that we are finished with free zone. Then all we have to do is that just go back, sit down and see whether you can remember the sections. At least section 21, 22, 28, thereabout. Those are the major tax incentives that are important to you. But don't forget that we can ask you about what are the functions of the free zone board, what are the registration requirements, because as a tax consultant, everything is a package. If I come, you must tell me the registration requirements that I need, and even the forms that I showed you. If I want to enjoy the 30% sale into the local market, what am I supposed to do? If I want to enjoy the vehicle importation, what am I supposed to do? All these things, we need to know them. Then that will tell us that yes, we know the operations of the free zone. Please, is that clear? Joe and Leo.
Yeah, boss.
I hope you are fine now, isn't it?
Yeah.
The principal asks is not many, so please try and finish it up, and then we'll be okay. So we'll end here, and then we'll continue next time. I don't know the time. Joe will communicate to us.
Okay.
Wednesday. We are supposed to meet on Wednesday.
Okay. For what paper?
Tax admin. So we'll do tax admin on Wednesday. We'll do advance on Saturday. Then we'll do strategic on Sunday. I don't know if the Thursday class will come on. Depending.
Let's see. If we're able to move faster, especially in admin, right now the major law that we need to do is the VAT Act. Okay. If we're able to do the VAT Act quickly, then we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, and have a nice rainy evening.
Mm.